It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show!
Hey there, everybody. It's the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name's Thomas Schick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey, gang.
Les Webster.
Hello, all.
And Liz Newman.
Hello, everybody.
How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Diddly-tastic.
I'll agree with what was previously said.
I'd buy that for $1.
Going to be that kind of episode? Well, I'll buy that for $1.
Hope everybody out there is doing all right. So what's been going on in your corner of the galaxy?
Well, I actually remembered that I had stuff to watch. Yay! A while back, heck, it's probably at least been a year, I told you guys about a show called Manifest, and it was really good. It's about a flight 828 that they took off, and when they came back, like 5 years had passed, and they couldn't figure out where these people had gone, what had happened to them during this time, because to them it was like they just flew home. You know, they passed through a storm, not a big deal, everybody was fine, and they came home. So it was canceled after 3 seasons, so we never really got to see what happened. You know, why did this happen? Netflix picked it up, and they finally finished the 4th season. They broke it into 2 parts, and they just wrapped up the second part 2 of season 4. So it is now all on Netflix. It's pretty good. I will admit the first season of this show was probably absolutely the best. You just had so much going on and trying to piece out what was going on. 4th season, you can tell that they kind of had to rush it, because originally he had said that he wanted 5 seasons. They were gone for 5 years, and he wanted 5 seasons to tell this whole story. So Netflix didn't give him 5, they only gave him 1, well, the 4th, but some of it did seem kind of rushed. Some of it, I kind of feel like in between the time of when it was on TV to when Netflix picked it up, they kind of changed course. Like, I don't know, maybe what he was originally had planned for them wasn't going to work, so they had to do something different to tell the rest of the story in the time that they had. But they wound up making one girl, her name was Annalise. They wound up making her like the big bad for season 4. And season 3, you kind of get the feeling that she's not a great person, but to be the villain for the 4th season was kind of a stretch for me. I don't know if that was originally planned. I kind of liked the way they were doing it. It was like the bigger story was what happened to these people. But in the meantime of telling this bigger story, each episode was broke down into what they called callings, where they would see like visions or something, and they'd have to go help someone. And that was pretty cool. You know, each episode they helped someone different. Each time it was a different passenger on the plane. And the 4th season, they still had the callings, but that was no longer the priority. So each episode wasn't broke down like the previous were. You know, they had to tell more of the bigger story that had been told in the backgrounds before.
They couldn't afford the filler.
Right.
Not to say that it's not a good part of the story, but
right.
it's
That's
extra.
what I was about to say. The filler was actually the better part of the story, of just helping people. One guy wound up shutting down a child trafficking ring. So that it was some pretty interesting stories, but fourth season they kind of got interested too much in the love stories and the where they were, and we did learn where they were. I'm still kind of really. I guess for me, I grew up, in a very, very Christian home. I do know a lot of the Bible just because, for 16 years, that's all I heard. So sometimes when people try to take a narrative and then all of a sudden, oh, it's biblical, and it's kind of like, yes,
Is it
but
though?
no.
Right.
Right. And I don't want to spoil this because it just wrapped up last week, so it's still new, and I'm not sure how many people have watched it on Netflix. But the answer, being as divine as it was, I wasn't happy with at all. It just, to me, in my mind, that doesn't happen. It will never happen, and if it does happen, you're not going to come back on an airplane. But very last episode, if you have watched all of this and everything else, we do have our favorite characters that we like, and the last episode definitely was a lot of fan service. They were wrapping up a lot of the storylines between these characters that we had been curious about. So plus the whole judgment thing was awesome. So like I said, some of it was kind of meh, but if you've already watched it 3 seasons, the 4th season is definitely worth it to watch the wrap up and see how everything that you thought that you knew, you were wrong about.
Right.
All the evidence that they laid out was not right. So, yeah. I guess this would be like I think they put I don't want to say their best foot forward. They put too much of the story into the first season. So by the time you get further out, it was like, that's not right because that's not what you told us, So I don't know. I don't know if that's on writing there or
Yeah, I was going to say,
what.
did it feel like misdirect or did it feel like backpedaling?
To me, it felt like backpedaling. That they, I felt like it was pretty solid in the first season. That the evidence that they were laying down was like, okay, that makes sense. Because not only were they dealing with Christianity, they dealt with a lot of like Egyptian gods too. And so a lot of that was what I know was pretty factual, like, okay, I can see where they're going with this. But then by season 2, they kind of divert from that. And it's kind of like, well, it is what you're saying it is, but it's not, it's being misinterpreted, So by the 3rd season, they had kind of completely given up that direction. And so the 3rd season, if people, watching it all, because of course I went back and watched everything before watching the 4th season, watching the 3rd season again, I can see why it was canceled.
Ouch.
As much as I like this show, they just, by the 3rd season, had completely diverted away from that story. Not storyline, because it's still the same story, but I don't know how to describe that. Where
kind of a theme.
Kind of a theme, yeah. You have I don't know. You have an episode, you have a villain, you have a monster, you have conclusion. So it was kind of...
Oh, Monster of the Week, even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of...
So you've completely gone away from having an overarching story almost.
Right. So it was episodic, but not...
You've turned it into the filler that you were slipping a little bit in there to begin with, and then it just all becomes that, and
Yes.
that doesn't
Yep.
work as well.
And the stories they were giving us with the filler wasn't as strong as what you'd already given us.
Right.
You know, but it is hard to top, child trafficking ring. So I feel like they let their bang out too soon. That maybe the first season stuff should have been more of the third season stuff. And which
Or
usually is
spread
not
out
my,
even.
yeah, yep. Spread the love.
It's like he was scared he was going to get canceled in the first season, so he front loaded. And then by the third season, he's like, "Oh shit! Now what are we going to do?"
Yeah, how do we?
Right. I plan for 5 years. I mean, they all say they're planning for 5 years. That's kind of the magic number, because you'll never get a network to commit to more than that.
Yeah.
But maybe he didn't really have 5 years worth of story, or he crammed it all into year one, and then didn't know what to do with it after that.
Yeah. I think he knew where he wanted to go, but by the time it got to get there, he was too far off from the goalpost. So they had to rush it.
Right.
So yeah, like I said, I can definitely tell the third season will be the one that, if you haven't seen it, it will be the hardest season to watch, because third season you kind of get trapped in this, I love him, I don't love him, I love him, I don't love him, and I hate that. I mean,
that's what reality TV's for, people. Come on.
Right, But Josh Dallas, I absolutely love him. Everything I've seen him in, he's been amazing in. And this part, of course, he's a good actor, very strong lead. I think he probably did get the best story in this season, or all of the seasons, really. Because although it wasn't, most of this was told from his perspective, or what was happening to him and his family. So, but yeah, like I say, if you haven't seen it, I would definitely say, watch it, because some of it is pretty interesting. Some of it's kind of but there's enough interesting stuff to balance that out. And it was nice because we got a complete wrap up. There was no strings left. There was no cliffhanger. There was really not even what happens after this? It was done. Period. Closed it off,
Cool.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Well, now that it's on Netflix, I may be able to watch it. Just not that I didn't watch it because it wasn't full tilt, but Netflix now having it available, to me, it's a lot easier to deal with.
It was on Hulu before, and I didn't know when they did the fourth season, but Netflix did grab all of it, so it is complete over there. I don't know if it's still on. I think.
Was it this show, or was it, or maybe you mentioned another one, that the deal was, or part of the problem was that some of it was on Hulu and some of it was on Peacock, and having to swap back and forth was a pain in the butt or something?
Yeah, that was Yellowstone.
Okay, that's a different show. Never mind.
And I think it's still screwed up that way.
Probably.
To where now, actually, that I think about it, it's on 3 streaming networks.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we haven't even seen the new season, because it's like, it's probably on one that I pay for, but I'm not going to, no, I'm not going to hunt it down. It's not.
It's good, but it ain't that good.
Right. Too much. If I have to think about it, I won't watch it.
Right. This is not about research. This is about TV.
Yeah. And it seems like they're making it harder to do that nowadays. I think Netflix and Disney are talking about adding a commercial plan, and it's like, wow, that's 2 big steps backwards.
Yeah, but commercials is where the money's at, apparently.
But it breaks down to, why did people start streaming? because we didn't want to watch commercials.
That's
we
why
wanted to
you
watch
started
it when,
streaming.
well, me and probably 80% of streamers, you know.
I think you'd be surprised at how much smaller that number is.
Yeah. But if I'm gonna pay for something, I'm not gonna torture myself. Commercials are ADD traps.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm not saying that your point is not valid. I'm just saying it's probably less of the population than you think.
I don't know. I think I have the millennials on my side on this one.
Oh.
Just remember, the millennials gave you Baby Shark.
Yes.
Now, the thing to remember is that one asshole millennial gave you Baby Shark, and the fact that he's a millennial, he or she is a millennial, is kind of irrelevant. All that generational stuff is just bullshit anyway. It's just people wanting to blame other people for something. It's yet another excuse to divide us all.
I'll do it if I want.
There might be a rant in there somewhere. I don't know.
So say, wow.
Yeah, dude, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just reminding people of what bullshit looks like. That's all.
Well, I think I've done bullshit.
I mean, I'm not sure we'd have a show without bullshit, but you know what I mean.
Right. I wouldn't know what to talk about.
It'd be like our pre-show. But anyway.
No, that's just a shit show.
Oh, ow. Ow, 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 ow. Hey, you call it whatever you want. You're the one doing most of the talking, so it's cool.
Say, that's where most of my bloopers come from. No filter, Liz.
Oh. I think she's starting to figure out why we got her on the show in the first place, guys.
Right.
Damn it.
Took me a few years.
Oh, filters are for wimps.
Yeah.
And non-podcasters.
And the challenge goes out.
Oh. Anyway, Manifest, yeah.
Yeah. I said it's pretty good. Although I don't remember her name, but the lead lady with the fuzzy caterpillar eyebrows, they could have done something for her. All I'm saying.
Damn.
Right. Well, I only say that because they also called it out in the show. So I think one guy called her eyebrow lady. So that's kind of when I noticed it was like, yeah, those things are kind of fuzzy.
Wow. That's a thing that happened.
Yep.
That's one of those. And on that note,
Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
Whew. Well, okay then. I'll take the hint. So I managed to watch a documentary this week. Barely snuck it in there. And this week's documentary fun was entitled Tab Hunter Confidential. This is a 2015 documentary based on the 2005 autobiography of Tab Hunter.
okay.
Tab Hunter, if you're not familiar with the name, was a really big deal in Hollywood back in the 50s and 60s. And then his career kind of took a different turn. it was it was interesting. I mean, I guess it was helpful that it was based on his autobiography because that certainly explained why he did a lot of the talking in the documentary, which was actually fine because he's actually a pretty good storyteller, and had some interesting insights to what was going on in his own career, and his own life. I mean, something from the stuff I learned category. I had no idea he had a singing career. I completely missed that somehow. I think mostly because my musical knowledge starts somewhere in the early 60s, and his career was late 50s. But also he got his start in Hollywood really young. He was like 17 when he started. But yeah, I mean, he was a really big deal until he hit 30, and then it all kind of just dried up for him. So he ended up kind of doing other stuff. I mean, he acted some, but he wasn't. I mean, he did the occasional movie here and there. He actually did a lot of TV. And interesting story. He actually starred in a TV. What show was that for? I lost it. It was a show called Climax, and this was 1955. He starred in an episode entitled "Fear Strikes Out," which was the story of baseball player Jimmy Pearsall, who struggled with mental illness. So this is a pretty complex story for mid-50s TV. He was at the time under contract with Warner Brothers, and so he was talking to his agent trying to get this story bought so that they could do the movie version of it, where unbeknownst to him at the time, his friend Anthony Perkins managed to do that faster, and Perkins was under contract with I want to say Paramount, but I could be remembering wrong. And he got it. He secured the rights before Hunter did, and so if you go look up the movie Fear Strikes Out, it's Anthony Perkins that played the role.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't do well for their relationship at the time, to say the least. Hunter was unhappy with Perkins over this, but so that it was a long time really before they kind of talked and got it all straightened out. But I thought it was an interesting story. And the whole thing is full of stories like that. Some of them about that sort of thing, and just sort of it ventures off into his personal life quite a bit. He had an interesting personal life. They talked kind of at length about the movie that kind of gave him a resurgence in his career in the early 80s, which was Polyester. I've said it before, and I will say it again. If for any reason, for any subject, if you ever want to add at least a star to the rating of your documentary, get John Waters to talk. It never fails. Its stories are just so unbelievably awesome. Dude, it's just a hoot. So they got him in here talking about Polyester and talking about how Tab Hunter starred in several things with Divine and how that just became a thing for a little while. It was just wild. So yeah, and yeah, he was, I mean, like I said, he was in his 80s doing a significant amount of the talking head portion of this documentary, and it's really good. It is well put together. Definitely worth checking out.
That sounds good.
And it was on Amazon Prime.
Cool.
Where was this located?
It's on Prime.
On Prime. Okay.
Yep. So no commercials, Liz.
Yay.
Except right at the beginning. For some reason, they always slide something in right at the beginning when you start something. But that's it. After that, it's all movie all the time.
Yeah. But see, Amazon makes it where you can skip that. So.
Oh, do they? I've never tried. They're never more than 30 seconds long, so it doesn't bother me. So I never bothered to try to skip it.
Yeah.
Good to know.
See, Hulu has, I think it's CBS. It's whatever Grey's Anatomy is on. And they play a 30-second ad before the show that you can't skip through. I'm not sure why they do that. But they say, we're going to play one before and after. Of course, you don't stick around for the one after, but you can't skip the one before. So I'm glad that Amazon makes it where you can. Come on.
For now, anyway. Who knows?
Move along. Yep. But usually it's something there on Prime, so
right.
It's not as bad as some other kind of commercial, for soap, deodorant, or something.
Well, Prime, it's usually something self-promotional for them. It's
yeah.
usually
another show or something.
Another show of theirs, right? So it's not that big a deal.
Mm-mm.
What you got, Les?
Very little, to tell you the truth. But I will say that it's ABC that carries
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, but that's okay.
Yep. I knew it was one of them. One of the primes,
25% chance.
So it was pretty quiet for me. Didn't do all that much. Didn't watch all that much, but that's okay. I don't need to be in front of the TV 24/7. Not that I'm saying it's a bad thing, because I love it. Oh, thank God she just walked through. Okay, so I don't have to lie anymore.
Ouch. Good thing she doesn't listen, huh?
Yeah. No, it was just a quiet week for me, and everybody needs those. So.
Mm-hmm. Some of us are just better at actually pulling it off than others sometimes.
True.
For better or for worse.
Yeah, well, not a lot on my end either. I've had some things going on that I had to take care of, so I've not really a lot of fun stuff. But hey, that's life. That's okay. Alrighty. For this week, we're doing a little something different. This is our game night episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. And we're playing Hit List again for those who have not checked out our previous episodes. This is a game that we kind of started up playing these games back when lockdown was on, and so I kind of just took the rules and adjusted them a little bit with since we're all not in the same location, so we can't play the game.
Can't trust us with rules anyway, right?
Well, there's some people you can't trust. So
I object. Hey.
I didn't say your name, Les, but that's okay. Matter of fact, I wasn't even thinking about you, but okay. I'm gonna be watching you next time. With hit list, they list a clue, and then there's six answers that are tied to that clue. What I do is I give these guys 30 seconds to write down 3 possible answers to this. And each answer, if they match, is a 1 point. There is a special answer that's in bold, and that one will be worth 3 points. It doesn't matter where in the list it is. So with that, I think we'll just go ahead and start up. I guess we need to decide who's going to go first. Well, Les is going to go first, since we need to watch him, see if he's cheating.
Ouch.
Ouch. We ready?
Oh,
I'm going on sabbatical, so I'll see kids later.
So, we'll just do it in alphabetical. It'll be Les, Liz, and Mike.
No, just start with me.
That's what I'm saying.
that is starting with
But
you.
that is alphabetical.
Oh, I was thinking we were going last name, but okay. Bastards.
So, here we go. First clue. Found in basements. Found in basements. And you have 30 seconds now.
I'm good.
Can you spell the last word, please?
Basements? Basements?
All right. Basements. You wanted me to spell basements. Basements.
Okay.
Okay, Les?
I'm going to go with insects, heater, and what was my third one? What the hell was that? Oh, pails.
Okay.
Pails?
Pails, like buckets?
Is it, okay.
Yeah. Okay, Liz.
I have stairs, boxes, and mold.
Stairs is good. I didn't think of that.
Okay, Mikey.
Okay, I have a water heater, I have a ping pong table, and I have tools.
Okay. Liz gets 1 point, and that's it.
About right.
Stairs.
Nope.
Oh,
You said boxes, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Boxes, cobwebs, dehumidifier, washing machine, fuse box or breaker panel, and the special one is workbench.
Oh, I was so close with tools.
I almost said laundry room.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is gonna be a fun one. Let me spell this out for Les here.
hey, I asked that because the last one I heard Vegas, Vegas.
That would be another cool one, but
Mm-hmm.
may not be in the set.
It's not in set, but I can come up with one. I'll make it up for next time.
Cool.
All right. English idioms. Did you get that, Les?
English idiots. Okay.
Idioms.
Dang.
Ready? And Go. Time. Les?
English idioms. The only thing I can come up with that is truly English is Bob's your uncle.
Okay.
Hmm.
Liz?
I only came up with two. I
Okay.
can only think of two. Raining cats and dogs. Cheap as dirt. Or did I have idioms wrong?
No, that sounds
Okay.
reasonable to me anyway. I'm not the one looking at the answer sheet, but
I almost went sweating like a whore in church, but I didn't think that was
it's yeah. I mean, sure.
Yeah, but I wouldn't think it would be on the card, but that's okay.
right.
Yeah, if this was the Google search one, we could maybe
Yeah.
see it. But
Okay. Mikey?
okay, this is the stuff that just popped into my head. I'm not sure any of it counts as English idioms, but I got prim and proper, 3 sheets to the wind, and I'll buy that for $1. This is the
Okay.
crap that goes through my head, unfortunately.
Well, surprise, surprise. 0
6.
across the board, yes.
Yay.
Woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Ah.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Don't cry over spilled milk. Skeleton in the closet. A fish out of water. And a special one is steal one's thunder.
That's the special one.
That's the special one.
Huh.
Well, that's another version of Bob's your uncle.
Uh-huh. Or a whore in church.
Right. Oh, man.
Okay. Round 3. Traditional newspaper features. Traditional newspaper features. And go.
Mm-hmm.
Time. Alrighty, Les.
Okay, I'm going to go with entertainment section, sports, and editorials.
Okay. Liz.
I went with comic strips, obituaries, and crossword puzzle.
Okay. Mike.
And in a skillful blend of all of what we've heard already, I have editorial, comic strips, and personal ads.
Okay.
I would like to talk to Liz about her choices.
Mike ain't going to like this, but I'm going to give him one. So Liz has 2 and Mike has 4.
Shut. Okay.
Very good.
Wow.
What did
Weather?
I say? What did I say?
Okay. We've got weather, obituaries, comics, reviews, stocks, classifieds.
You're giving me classifieds for personal ads.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well.
No. That makes sense to me.
Personal ads could also be obituaries.
Nice try.
That's what you're looking for.
Nice try.
Okay. And with that put Mikey in the lead.
Ah.
You're going to have to start throwing it.
I know. Oh, I don't have to work at that. That'll come naturally anytime now.
Okay. Round 4. Types of bodies of water. Types of bodies of water. You understand that, Les?
Go to hell.
And go. And time. All right, Les.
Oceans, lakes, rivers.
Okay. Liz?
I have lake, ocean, and sea.
Okay. Mike?
I have the exact same thing Les put. Ocean, lake,
Okay.
river.
Okay. So that's 3 for Les, 3 for Mike, and 2 for Liz.
I am sucking at throwing this already.
And we are looking at lake, river, ocean, creek, pond, and a special one is lagoon.
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 As in the creature from the black.
Yeah, well. Yeah. All right.
That's not a vegetable, is it? Oh, lagoon. I thought you said legume. Okay.
Well, isn't that the base that where everybody was getting poisoned from the water?
Close.
Oh, man. It's right down the river from it.
Mm.
But anyway.
Okay. Final round. Let's have an easy one.
Oh, yeah.
That one wasn't easy?
Well, yeah, I mean, you got 3 points, so yeah. Okay. Alfred Hitchcock movies.
Oh.
Alfred Hitchcock movies. And go. No Googling.
Damn it.
I'm just typing, man. I'm not Googling.
Yeah. And time. Okay. Now, after all that Googling and all that, what'd you get, Les?
There's so many. I went with Psycho, Rear Window, and The Man Who Knew Too Much.
Okay. Liz?
I went with Birds, Psycho, and Vertigo.
Okay. Mikey?
I think I screwed up. I think one of mine's not a Hitchcock movie.
Don't!
I picked Psycho, North by Northwest, and To Catch a Thief, but I don't think To Catch a Thief is Hitchcock.
No, it's not, but that's a valiant try. That's...
I don't know why Cary Grant jumped in. Actually, no, it wasn't Cary Grant. It was Grace Kelly that jumped into my head. That was what it was.
Okay,
She was in Rear Window, so...
Now, was Rear Window the one where he broke his leg and he was watching him across the street?
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
I couldn't think of that one.
Les has 2, Liz has 3, and Mike has 1. The list here is Psycho, Vertigo, The Birds, Rear Window, Strangers on a Train, and the special one is Lifeboat.
Ah.
Oh, that's the special one, all right.
That's the special one. Okay. Guess what? Tie.
I didn't win. I didn't win.
Liz and Mike has a tiebreaker.
Oh, no. Damn it,
So
Liz, you're supposed to get more points than that.
I was sandbagging.
Okay. Our tiebreaker question is remote control buttons. Remote control buttons. And go. And here's where Mike throws it. and time. Liz.
Okay, I have the volume button, the channel button, and the power button.
Okay. Mike.
I have channel, volume, and fast forward.
Okay, Liz wins.
Hey!
Woohoo!
By 1 point.
I
By
successfully
1
threw
point.
it. Fast forward's not on there. That's depressing.
Menu, mute, guide, input, power, and the special one is last, back, or return.
If I had said rewind, I would have gotten it. That's funny. Because I almost did.
So,
Oh. Well, you know, we all can't be winners.
wow.
I don't know. I think we've had a couple of three-way ties when we're playing this game before. So technically, yes, we can. I'll be winners.
We have. We have.
Go ahead, Liz. Take your victory lap.
Dun, dun, dun.
Woohoo! Yeah.
All right, let's play one more game and then we'll call it. Okay, let's get everything ready. All right. We'll start with another easy one. How about that?
Yay.
As we've done so well so far.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
With the easy ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Steven Spielberg directed movies with non-human characters.
What?
Okay? Get that? These are films that are directed by Steven Spielberg, but they have non-human characters. Okay? And go. Time. Okay, Les.
Let's go with Star Wars, E.T., and the elephants in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Okay. Okay, Liz.
I went with E.T., Tiny Toons, and Jaws. Does Tiny Toons count because it's not a movie or?
I don't think he
It's
directed
not.
Oh.
He was a producer.
Oh.
That's okay. He didn't direct Star Wars either, but that's all right,
Right.
too.
Yeah. Okay, Mike.
I went with E.T., AI, and Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Okay, Mike got 3, Liz got 2, and Les got 1. Woohoo!
Jurassic Park. I forgot about that one.
Mm-hmm. We have Jaws, Jurassic Park, E.T., AI. Kudos for you getting that one, Mike. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and the special one is Hook.
Okay. I guess technically Tinkerbell is not human.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Pixie of some sort.
She became human.
Yeah, at the end, yeah.
Can't count that then.
Maybe the crocodile.
Hey.
Well, since no one guessed it, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Is that crocodile? Yeah, well, crocodile as well. Okay.
It never even occurred to me that it could be a non-alien, obviously, given the answers. But yeah, no, that's good.
No.
Non-human character. It's perfectly fair.
Like I said, I'm kudos for AI.
Yeah.
Because I forgot that he directed it.
It was a very forgettable movie, really, but you know,
yeah,
it popped into my head.
Okay, next one is winter sports. Winter sports. And go.
You ask us this in June in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
trying to cool y'all down, especially since it was like 100 and the heat index was like 114 today. And time. Okay, Les.
Okay. Skiing, ice skating, and curling.
Okay. Liz.
I have skiing, snowboarding, and bobsledding.
Okay. Mikey.
Dang. Snow skiing, bobsled, hockey.
Okay. The list is speed skating, ice hockey, which I don't know why they need to say it's ice hockey because, well, I mean, there's grass, there's field hockey.
Field, yeah.
Bobsled, curling, luge, and ice fishing. That's the special one.
Ice fishing.
Ice fishing.
Really?
Because that's a sport now.
Where is that in the Olympics? That's what I want to know. What odd, obscure channel is that on at 4 a.m. on the Olympics?
On the Ocho.
It's like, me and Jim Bob, we're going to go catch some fish in this ice. Duck Dynasty. There you go.
I got no words for that one.
Okay, since we did real well with movies, let's do this one.
Well, what points did we get from that one?
I gave you 2, Les. Mike has 2, and Liz has 1.
Okay, thank you.
I gave you skating.
I can't believe skiing wasn't on there.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's not
Well,
like
you
they
can't
have a
have
field
a-
skiing. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. I don't get it.
I don't either.
Movies about people getting stranded. Movies about people getting stranded.
Stranded.
And go. No Googling. And time. Okay. Les.
Could not keep it and think of the movie, the one with Tom Hanks.
Castaway.
Thank you. Think about it. Lifeboat
Cool.
and Stranded.
Okay. Alrighty, Liz.
What's that stranded one about? I'm just kidding.
I couldn't think of any, so I went with Speed, Die Hard, and Paradise Lost. I mean, Die Hard, he was stranded in the building.
Well,
They were stranded on a bus.
In Speed, they were stranded on a bus. So,
Yeah, so
trapped anyway.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
It worked in my mind.
Liz's trapped anxiety thing came out in spades on this one, but that's okay.
Help us out, Mike.
Castaway,
Yeah.
Okay.
Lord of the Flies,
Mm-hmm.
The Blue Lagoon.
Yeah.
Very
All right.
good.
The list is Castaway, Lord of the Flies, The Blue Lagoon, Robinson Crusoe, The Swiss Family Robinson, and the special one is The Martian.
Okay.
So Les gets 1.
Thank you.
Mike gets 3. Well, you mentioned Tom Hanks, so I gave you based on that. And
I
Liz,
appreciate that.
And Liz is just in another world, so that's
Out in Liz Field.
Liz Field. That's right.
You tell what type of movies I don't watch?
It is abundantly clear at this point, yes.
Nailed Hitchcock, though.
I know. I noticed you didn't have the blob on there. But that's okay.
Or the black hole, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, scoring update. Liz with 3 points, Les with 4 points, Mike with 8.
Damn.
I don't know if I can throw this one.
I don't think you can either.
Well, don't answer anymore.
One
Then
of you
maybe.
schmuckos got to get one of the special ones. That's what has to happen here. Come on.
Okay. This one will be a little bit easier, I guess. We'll see. Common street signs. Common street signs. Just remember your driver's ed. And go. And time. Les.
I was trying to think of where the Munsters live, but I came up with Elm, Main, and First.
Okay. Liz?
I may not have understood the question then, because I went with one way, do not enter, and stop.
Okay. And to answer your question, no, you did not.
Okay.
Mike?
Well, if she didn't, then I'm host. Good thing I got some cushion in this game, huh? Because I went with stop, keep right, and keep left.
Okay.
We got
Okay.
negative points on that one, Mikey.
Can I? That would be great.
No, I said we did, yeah.
Well, you got stop. So, I mean, stop, yield, merge, speed, one way, and the special one is no parking.
I don't ever see signs that tell me to speed. Where are these people getting these signs from?
Well, I mean, speed. I don't know if they
Like
mean speed limit. Maybe. I don't
would
know.
hope so, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't make these.
I wasn't expecting the answer. I was just being a smartass.
Mm.
I know that's shocking, right?
Congratulations.
Yay.
You achieved your goal.
I achieved smartassery.
Okay, final round.
Where's my cookie? Just kidding.
I don't know. Here's your cookie. The clue is summer sounds. Summer sounds. Means sounds that you hear during summertime, okay?
This is a very regional thing, but anyway.
It could be, but well, maybe. And go. And time. All right, Les.
Okay, I went with birds, children, and the hangers-on of children, locusts.
Okay.
You get locusts bad in your neighborhood or something? They're hanging off the children. Jeez.
We have notices to keep your children indoors and things like that. So yeah.
That's just because they're pests.
What, the locusts or the children?
The children.
Okay.
Locusts are
Children
fine.
are the plague, yeah.
I think we got a show title too. But anyway.
Liz?
I went with crickets, locusts, and ice cream trucks.
Very good.
I like ice cream trucks.
Mike?
I went with crickets, chirping birds, and storm sirens.
Okay.
Because again, regional, and
Yeah.
it hadn't been that many days since we heard them. But anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The list is thunder, crickets, sprinkler, campfire, ice cream truck,
Ooh.
and the special one is diving boards.
Okay, that's a stretch.
That is.
I mean, I get it and all, but
I would have went with like splashing or something.
right.
Again, don't shoot the
No,
person who's
hey,
playing.
not in any way.
Okay.
We're making fun of the answers, not the guy reading them.
mm. Congratulations, Mike.
I couldn't throw it enough.
Nope.
Well, Les with 4, Liz with 7, you with 10.
God, a
Yes.
double-digit score. I'm so ashamed.
Be proud.
Yeah, you won.
Where's my trophy? And my chicken dinner.
I got your single-digit trophy here.
Yeah, I got your trophy here, too.
You keep your sign language to yourself, sir.
All right.
Very good.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yep. Well, on that note, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back with geek news for you. And we're back. It's time for geek news for you. In this segment, we bring a couple of news items to the table for discussion. This week, it is Mikey and myself. And Mike, would you like to go first?
Oh, sure. I'll go first. I found, and by found, I mean grabbed off of Discord, an article.
You're welcome.
Actually, exactly. Thanks. An article from yesterday. That would be the 19th. And this is from Bleeding Cool. And the title of this article is Prepare for Major Comics Delays as UPS Vote to Authorize Strikes. This is whether you could call this comics news or not is kind of questionable, but anyway, we'll get there. So the heart of this story is that the Teamsters Union, who represents a significant number of UPS warehouse workers and delivery drivers, has voted to authorize a strike when their current contract expires. The contract expires in August. So the deal is, yeah, the union has voted to authorize a strike. They have not initiated a strike. They have not said anything about an agreement not being completely out of the question at this point. They just authorize it. It's kind of the normal thing that a union, especially a union of that size, would do if something's if a contract is upcoming.
Right.
This article and its title kind of leads you to believe that your comics are in danger when they're not. There's absolutely nothing that tells us that there is, except that, obviously, like I said, a big union is doing their job. So it's not real surprising that the whole first paragraph of this article is completely and utterly burying the lead. It has nothing. He's talking about something that happened 5 years ago when the contract that is ending was signed, and how there's a bunch of interesting details about wages and stuff like that. And it's finally the fourth paragraph, which starts off with the sentence, "There may not be a strike, of course." So, I mean, there's stuff going on with UPS, and I guess UPS carries a significant number of comics deliveries, and that's great. But this is pretty much a not news article, and so I mean, there's nothing to worry about at this point. If we bring this back up in September or October, and then maybe there's something to it, but this whole article uses comics and shipping as an excuse to try to be able to say later on, hey, we were the first ones to mention this.
Mention that it's going to happen, yeah.
Yeah, even though there's nothing really to mention yet. So.
Well, I mean, the Screen Actors Guild just did something similar within the last week or so. They said, hey, if we're going to do a strike, it's okay. We'll do that.
Right.
That's essentially the same thing.
Uh-huh. And it happens all the time. It's just that it's not always newsworthy.
Yep.
But anyway, I mean, I'm kind of picking on Bleeding Cool a little here with this, but
well,
it was comics related, so we mentioned it. And
well, we've had our discussions about journalism in general.
Right.
Time to time.
And if I could have found something better, I certainly would have. But I love the fact that there's not huge earth-shattering news anywhere near the comics industry right now, or at least not that I could find in a quick search. So, yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
If we're having to fish for this kind of stuff, then great. That means comics are doing okay for the moment.
Okay. Well, I mean, my article has some possible good news.
Ooh, good news is nice.
How about that? I mean, there's nothing to confirm this yet, but it does seem like Universal may be giving up its distribution rights to the Hulk, and that Marvel may be able to do an Incredible Hulk film without having to go through them. This kind of goes back to the whole thing from the 90s of, when Marvel was fighting bankruptcy and they sold all the film rights and all that kind of stuff. Somehow Universal was able to get the first refusal or whatever you want to call it, distribution rights of Incredible Hulk. Matter of fact, the last film, which was in, I got it right here, 2008, they signed off saying, yeah, we'll distribute this film, and of course they pocketed a bunch of money. But apparently the filing for that back in 2008 gave them a timetable of 15 years. Well, guess what?
It's 15 years later.
It's 15 years later to the month. And just by chance, The Incredible Hulk is now on Disney Plus. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. But this article is just that's what let's talk about. And it's saying, hey, we're not saying that Marvel Studios has the distributions back, but there's a possibility that it's going to be back because Marvel hasn't done anything. I mean, what they've been doing with the characters, stuffing them in other films and TV shows to kind of get around that.
Yeah.
And Universal, so they've kind of basically waited out the clock. So now maybe there might be a Hulk film. They seem to.
Sorry.
The article seems to be saying that they're going to go ahead and do a film because they've been kind of setting up possible stories with his appearance in other shows, most recently the She-Hulk streaming series. So who knows? But if this is true, then I wonder about Submariner, because Universal has the distribution rights to that character too. That's why he hasn't shown up anywhere until Black Panther 2. So I wonder what the status is on that. Someone's going to have to look into that. But if he's eventually coming back, that's everybody except for the Spider-Man universe. Everything's back to Marvel. It's only taken them 35 years or so to do it, and buying every freaking company on the planet to do it, but they're getting there. So, but I thought that was good news.
That is good news.
Is it fair? Is it fair that they're doing this? And I'm not just talking about buying everything, because obviously I'd be shot down for that. Not necessarily by you folks, but anybody that believes that Marvel is everything, yeah, they're going to shoot this down. But
are you talking about getting all the characters back together?
Yes. If they did not have the rights to them, if they gave up the rights to them, why would they think that it's okay to, well, for one, to even do the appearances so they could bank on it? And that's all they're doing, is trying to get the bank on it. I have problems with it.
Well, if it's the end of a contractual time period, then I mean, it's the end of a contractual time period. They may still have to spend a bunch of money to get the actual rights back, but it's Disney. They can do that, right?
Right.
As long as who's going to outbid Disney?
Me.
That's what I'd heard.
You're going to have to cough up some bank account information for that to happen, young lady.
What was your numbers again? I might need all y'all's.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much I can help out with that one. Yeesh.
I may not have enough money for a Happy Meal for you.
All right, you buying Hulk from Universal or whoever you said it was is not necessarily the same as the bail money promise. I mean, come on.
Okay, let's say that Marvel does get the rights back. If Disney gets the rights for the Hulk, let's say if they get the rights for Spider-Man, which they kind of do, but are we going to have to go through the same thing again, like DC has done with the origin of Batman? Are we going to have to go through the origin of Hulk, origin of Spider-Man?
I doubt it, because they're already part of the MCU, whether Marvel/Disney owns the films or not. They've been part of the other films. I can't see them doing a new origin. Well, because I mean they've already done it twice in 2 Hulk films. Just the second Hulk film, they threw the origin in the opening credits. Kudos for them to do that. Say, hey, this is how we got here. Now we can move on, so we don't have to do that again.
Right, and the thing to remember is that those movies didn't do fantastically well either.
Right.
So, one, they've sort of rebooted it without doing that with Ruffalo in the Avengers films and all that.
Right.
And, I mean, unless they want to restart all of that with someone else, that I don't see any point in trying to redo the origin story. That would be counterproductive.
I just don't see him doing that. I mean, if Ruffalo decides he doesn't want to do it anymore and they get someone else, I think they'll just switch it, because they've already shown that they'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them redoing a Spider-Man origin if Holland leaves, which it sounds like he may not do number 4. Sounds like he's kind of on the fence about it. So it's going to happen at some point, because he's going to grow out of it.
Yeah.
And he may be already tired of it, because not only talking 3 films, we're talking 3 films and 2 Avenger films and the Captain America film too. So he's already done 6 films.
So they could just do an old man Spider-Man and wrap it all up for him, huh?
There you go. So I think they'll switch that again. Now, will they do like an origin for? I think we talked about this last week with X-Men. I think they'll do that because they'll try to somehow get them. They're gonna have to try to somehow get them incorporated more into the universe. Yes, there's already been references to some of the characters or some of the stuff, but for the most part, they're still an unknown, at least in our eyes.
So sort of an X Factor, you might say.
So now back to your question about Marvel using Hulk in all the other films and TV series to kind of skirt doing a film, so they had to deal with Universal. Yeah, it's kind of shitty, but what do you do?
I'm sure the check will be fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure there would be a significant check for buying back the rights, and I mean, if Universal wanted to do more with it, then they should have by now.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, all they can do is just say, yeah, we'll distribute it, and you'll give us this much money for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But Universal has its own problems right now. Remember, they fucked up the whole horror franchise thing.
The Dark Universe.
The Dark Universe,
they
yeah.
Had to have their own kind of universe, and
they had to have their own Marvel.
Mm.
He's like, no, you really don't.
And they wanted to recycle the old classic monsters thing, and
yeah, well, and that's fine. I wouldn't mind seeing that either. I don't know if I want to see them as modern day versions. I would love to see them as kind of back in the element that they were created in. I would love to see that, but supposedly they were going to actually be like anti-heroes or some such. It's like, no, you don't have to do that.
It didn't work with Van Helsing. Why would it work now?
Thank you.
Is it going to work with Kraven?
I've seen some discussions today on Kraven with the new trailer coming out. I don't know. I really have. I don't understand the whole thing of this character is a villain, this character is a bad guy, but we've got to do something where he's not as bad as this other guy that he's going to have to battle. You've got that with Morbius, you've got that with Black Adam, and you got this other stuff. It's like, can we not have a movie that stars a bad guy who is a bad guy?
And is perceived as a bad guy.
Yeah. Yes. It seems like writers really want to take all the villains and say, well, yeah, they're bad guys, but this is the reason why you tries to humanize them and try to and where we maybe what's the word I want to use?
Redeem.
Well, possible redeemability, but I mean just relatable. Okay,
right.
if I'm in that situation, would I do the same thing? Well, not every character's that way. Some people are just plain evil. Not everybody has to be, well, they were wrong or they were in a bad situation or something like, what is it, the one bad day, the whole thing with the Killing Joke, it just, and it seems like that's what they want to do with all the villains. It's like, well, they can be redeemed to a point, and then maybe they'll turn back and show their true colors, or it's like, but do they? I don't know.
Film executives love a redemption story for some reason. Not
Well,
sure
it's not
anybody
what-
else does because they don't sell, but whatever.
Well, it's not just film. It's not just in film. It's in comics. They try to do that. They try to do that with all of them. And I complain about that, but then again, there's times where I read some of these stories and I go, okay, that was kind of interesting. A couple of years ago with Rebirth, the whole thing with Clayface all of a sudden trying to redeem himself. I thought that was kind of interesting. But now we've got, like Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Of course, Harley Quinn, where she's going to be part of the Birds of Prey in the new series. Catwoman's always playing that thing. It's just like, and of course I just named 3 women in that, and I don't mean to. Same thing with Magneto. So, he's a bad guy. And now,
And Black Adam to some extent.
Well, Black Adam, yeah, he was a bad guy until all of a sudden he's, they do all this. It just, I don't know.
I agree. It's irritating as hell. If you're going to do new routes, then don't present him as Black Adam. Don't present somebody as Magneto. If you're going to redo their storyline, do it. Don't screw around with it.
Yep. Alrighty. Any special shout-outs or mentions this week?
Quick shout out to the hit list for giving us a fun game to play.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, only because he won this time.
Wow.
Says the person who won the other game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And see, those people thought I was the problem.
Hey, for all we
I
know,
like
you
our
threw the
game
whole
night.
thing, and
He did.
just lulling us into a false sense of security for next time.
What was your first clue there, Mikey? Steven Spielberg directed Star Wars?
Ouch.
Okay. Let's go on to a regular shout-outs then. Let's move on as quickly as possible. Want to thank Pop Goes to Culture Podcast Network for allowing us to be part of a great group of fellow podcasts. Definitely check them out. There will be a link in the show notes. We also want you to check out the fine men and women who make up Potter & Family on Twitter, who've been so kind enough as to spread the word of fellowship by retweeting our links. The best way to check them out is to do search #Potter & Family, all one word, and just scroll through whatever catches your eye. Click on that link and download that episode, and we hope you have a great time listening to them. Want to thank Manny the Martyr for supplying music to the podcast. In our show notes, you'll be able to click on a link to check out some of their other pieces of music. And finally, you, dear listener, thank you for downloading and listening to today's episode, and we value your feedback. Any questions, comments, suggestions, complaints, observations, what have you, please send them our way. Email address is email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, or you can go to the website and go to the About Us page, and there is a contact form you can fill out. Didn't mention this earlier, but we do have a Discord. We did mention Discord during our conversations, but we do have a Discord that's open for anybody to join us. We do have an invite on our homepage, and there is a section specifically for feedback, so you can post your thoughts there. Social media, Facebook, we are the Fellowship of the Geeks. On Twitter, Instagram, and Hive Social, we're at Fellowship Geeks. And if you want to follow our personal Twitter accounts, Mike can be found at Mikey Geek. Liz can be found at LN_geek. Les may or may not be found at Fake Les Webster. And I can be found at TomTCGeek. And from wherever you download our episodes, if you would be so kind as to rate and review our show, it would be greatly appreciated. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Just thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate you listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We do appreciate your support as always. And until next time, geek on, my friends.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,